On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we are back in the garage with my 2003 Nissan 350Z that has become the drift car. And as you can see, we are getting so much closer to this 2-day engine swap that is now going on 1 week, going back in. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Chair Go, and today, like I said, we're here with the 2003 350Z that I bought for $1,500. And it came with 2 engines, so here is the new engine that's freed up and looks much better. Well, I mean, the oil's not full of metal, so that's pretty much better right off the bat. There's the old one. That one is stripped. Honestly, I'm gonna have to like reassemble it all, so just so I can throw it away, I'll put that pan back on and put it on a tire, shove it back in the corner for a minute, and that will get that out of the way. But today, of course, we're concentrating on this. We're gonna kick it off with a visit to my friends at O'Reilly's because I need a couple things. I wanted to do the oil cooler O-ring while this thing's out. So there's an O-ring that goes to the block down there. We're gonna swap that guy out, and we're actually going to delete this idler pulley, this big idler pulley with all those tins on it. This has tensioners, it has dual tensioners, one for each belt on the bottom, and you set that tension with like a bolt. It's not a spring tensioner. So you can actually get rid of that tensioner completely. It's a super common mod for these things, and I don't like the way that bearing felt. And then a subscriber, Matt, sent me an email here and was like, 350Z idler pulley delete. And if you take a look at that, he told me how, he told me what belts I needed, which shorter belt I needed, and you just cut off one of the little mounting flanges on that thing to become a spacer and swap to a shorter belt, and it takes out a failure point. I'm absolutely down with that. So we're gonna shorten up that belt, go buy a couple things, and I hope it's the last trip because I think everything is here to put this engine back in. And I got bored at like 4 in the morning when I was out here working on this thing and cleaned a bunch of the glass. This car keeps looking better and better. And I do, people were worried about the deal I got on this thing, but I want you to know how much I've spent on this car. So far, a clutch, which was like 288 bucks, something like that for the complete kit from O'Reilly's, and an intake manifold gasket set, and a brake bleeder screw. That's it. I think that's all the money that's in this thing. A lot of time, an entire week of grinding on these 2 engines and all this stuff, cleaning and all that fun stuff. A lot of time, but no money. So I'm not really out much once this thing's running and back on the road. Even the wheels and my new wheels, no money. I've got maybe $300 or $400 in this build. Oh, the main problem with driving a diesel in the winter, it takes forever for the heat to show up. What's up?
What's up, gang? There's a lot of gang in here.
A whole lot of gang in here. Oh man, I need an oil cooler gasket for that 350Z. Braden's got a hack in the mainframe. That's the one. That is the one I need. All right, thanks, Braden.
Yeah.
Got some more platinum def for the diesel too.
Gotta have it.
Well, I mean, if you got a platinum.
Yeah.
Quick stop at Taco Bell to get this dragon fruit thing. It's all right. Kind of weird. It tastes like pink. It tastes like the color pink. One brand new looking valve cover back on. I wiped the coils down with brake clean. It's not gonna hurt them. And then I took some Meguiar's hyper dressing and wiped that down because the brake clean kind of dries the stuff out. The hyper dressing kind of puts the oil back on them. So they look nice and new. We've got brand new looking coils, brand new valve covers, and back on to the driver's side valve cover now, and everything starts being reassembled. The wiring harness has to be done under the intake as well, so I'm glad I had to do the valve covers because it all happens at once while you're in here. It's spark plug changing time. So I just pulled the first one and it was legitimately covered in oil. So you could tell those old oil seals on the old valve covers were toast. These spark plug wells, obviously it's like super common. The reason you have to change these valve covers is because those seals go bad and they're not replaceable. It's funny that the outer one is. Why just make the whole thing one piece then? Okay, on to the next one. Got this baby on low torque. And of course, again, completely covered in oil. Wow. So, another plug. All right, well, the rest of the story will probably be the same, and we've got all new Iridium IXs that are gonna go in this, and this problem is solved. That one's already better. Plugs actually look sort of okay. This side wasn't leaking nearly as bad. Driver's side, very bad. Huge shout out to these $3 valve covers. They came from who knows where. This hole for this spark plug coil, they didn't bother tapping it. So as you can see, the threads in there are not threads. It's actually just a joke. So I had to make the huge drive to go get a tap and die set. And now that we have a tap and die set, I can try to fix this. At least they drilled a hole in it. I mean, you got halfway. I'll give you credit for 50%. I do need lubrication, 1 drop of oil. There we go. Good old cutting oil. And we'll just do one of those maneuvers there. Put a couple drips on there. Much better. Now that thing runs well. Probably time to back that out and do a little vacuum action. All right, now we have some threads. Finally, I wondered why the screw wasn't going in for about the first couple minutes there. And I was trying to like switch bolts originally, and then I looked in there and found out there were no threads. So this time it's gonna work. There we go. That's better. That added a lot of time to this build that I surely was not expecting. And I also ordered a tap and die set just now so that this doesn't happen again, because I never owned one. 9 Newton meters. The moment we've all been waiting for. This engine gets wired with this big mess of spaghetti now that the thing was pretty clean. That is a thing that happens. The clean engine becomes not so clean. Found a connector that we can use to kick this whole thing off. This is the injector sub-harness connector here. And it connects to the back of the engine, just like that. And this connects to cam position, just like this. And then we'll just keep walking around this thing until we have a good idea where everything goes. That all kind of does this maneuver. You gotta be careful with this because it's literally just flinging trash everywhere. There's one. Another one. So yeah, you pretty much just, people wonder how you figure out where the wiring harness goes. You just kind of set it on there and it should all kind of fall back into place, and that's what we're doing right now. So this thing, not only does it fall back into place, but you have to mount all these tabs and everything. So once you get everything hooked up, the mounting tabs will kind of find their own home and you can put those tins back in. So 10 more minutes of this, should have it wired. There's so much like oil and gunk inside this thing. I just figured we better tear the whole thing apart and make sure. This must be the PCV system or something in here because it's just absolutely nasty, filled with oil. At least it cleans up pretty well. One more towel and we'll basically have this thing all clean. We ran into a little snag with our intake spacer here. It was missing all of the center spacers. They were not in the box. We got the engine ready to lift again, and we're gonna go ahead and do that now. That way we can put the clutch on and put the oil cooler O-ring in. This is not sketchy at all. All right, since we're down here, oil cooler O-ring. This is gonna be a fun one. Should be super fast, just this one bolt. Back this thing off. A little more. There we go. Pull this thing away from the block, make a mess. Still have oil inside there, even after all that cleaning. So, put that there. There's the O-ring. These are, of course, known for leaking on all Nissan products. Get that off, wipe it down with some brake clean, put our new Felpro one on, reassemble it. That is our 72 493 oil cooler O-ring right there. One of these days I'd like to ditch this and go to an external oil cooler setup, which is of course the proper setup for everything. I've actually never changed it on any of my other Nissans that started leaking because it can be such a pain. Well, I hit just a little small teensy weensy issue. And that issue is the automatics have that giant like bushing there instead of the needle bearing spacer that I have sitting on the transmission there, spacer, pilot bearing. So of course that's the upgraded pilot bearing sitting there. It is ready to go in, but I need a slide hammer, some kind of puller with a hook on it. I don't have one of those. Only the Car Ninja has one. Well, I mean, other people have them, but he has the best one, the Matco one with like a custom built hook, the one we used on my 911 to do its pilot bearing. So I'm gonna have to run over there to his place in the morning, borrow his slide hammer for a second, give that one quick yank, I bet it comes right out, and then we can finally slide in our pilot bearing and put this in the car. That's all it comes down to, is a missing tool. So earlier when I had to fix a hole that was bad, I ended up fixing 2 holes. I bought that, now it's time to buy a slide hammer, and I should be well on my way to having every tool to do stuff like this. Like I said, I've got the universal clutch alignment tool that I bought after I used Johnny's, because that was amazing. So this clutch, of course, comes with the tool. It's right there. Well, in the morning, we'll put this thing in. Since I'm stuck out here, I guess I'll go work on the house. Look who we found.
Hey, what's up?
We're here at Johnny's to borrow some of his stuff, but he's borrowing some of my stuff, so Gabe came here to borrow some of my stuff from him.
Yes.
That's how that works.
And we'll all do something sometime.
Stuff. Thanks, Johnny. Stealing your tools.
You know where they are, so.
I'm keeping it for
Yeah, keep it.
I honestly need to figure out, I gotta buy this thing, because it's amazing. And I need that tool you made that pulls these bearings.
Yes, so.
Freaking
No
perfect.
problem. Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, bud.
I absolutely cannot win getting this pilot bearing out, no matter what I do. So what we're gonna try now, we've tried Johnny's slide hammer and the single puller, the O'Reilly slide hammer with the double tooth puller, and now we're gonna try the grease method. So I'm gonna pack this thing full of grease with the grease gun here. Soon we're gonna have to switch to the torch, but we'll try this. Just fill it up with grease all the way. And now we're gonna take this socket that you can't get anything out of and drive it in with the sledgehammer. That did the magic. As you can see, now I've got to deal with all this grease. I'm gonna have to brake clean everything. Oh yeah. I hope this comes off my socket. I do want my 9/16 back here. So 9/16 deep with a bolt in it wrapped with electrical tape. That way I'm not hitting the socket, I was actually hitting the bolt. You can see I was beating that bolt up. So now we're gonna clean all this up, put in our pilot bearing, and finally, I can't tell you how happy I am that this worked, because none of those pullers had a chance. They were just tearing up the inside of this piece of junk. We pretty much run all over the city many times a day, and now what we've gotten down to is I had to go over to the Car Ninjas and use his press to press the clutch throwout bearing off of the sleeve that this throwout bearing rides on that connects to the shift fork there. So now that has been swapped. We've got a brand new bearing on there. Yeah, much better. Runs better. And the ball's been cleaned back there that the shift fork rides on. Clutch fork, that is. Or that. It lined right up. Just gotta punch it back and forth a little bit. Okay, so I wiped everything on here down with brake clean. It is clutch time. Here's our clutch basket. I got this thing all cleaned up. Put our centering tool in here. Let's see if we can get this to line up. There we go. Centering tool lined in. And now for the magic. So we've got dowels, and there's a dowel. Let's see if this works. Another dowel. Oh man, so I got the basket lined up. Do I have the clutch lined up? That's the real question here. So we'll just run around, put a bolt in, everywhere we can get one started. There we have it, the clutch basket is on. It's pretty simple once you line up the dowels. You guys saw me line up the dowels there. Then you just kind of run around and tighten them down. 10 pounds on the first pass, 13 pounds, something like that. And then about 25 to finish it off. They give you a big range, so I went for 25, 26. We are ready for the magic part. There we go, the clutch alignment tool is out. and we are ready to drop in this engine. Finally, finally, finally. It has been a very long, hard-fought battle. I don't know where that hose goes. I'm gonna have to figure it out once we're in the car, I guess. We're just gonna go for it. So hopefully I can put that on once it's sitting like all the way up against this firewall. I have a feeling I'll be able to. I've pretty much gone through every line left on the car to make sure it's all gonna land where we think. I'm gonna let you do your magic, which is kicking the front wheels in. And while we go in, you probably just push the engine stand wheels. That way it rotates into the, and I'll back up a little bit here. Okay. And now we can start rotating in gently. Yeah, just pull the back. Okay, I'm pulling the back. We need to lift. 100% need to lift. How's it looking over there? I think it clears. Yeah. The one thing we do need to do, I just have a jack stand under the transmission. If you take a look down there, we need to switch that to the floor jack now so that we can dynamically position the transmission. We'll go ahead and slide this back just a little bit. I also have a feeling I'm gonna end up changing this AC compressor once this engine's in. Okay. Real-time engine stab going down. We are making good progress here. Let that flop around just a little bit. It's in. I did a little cleanup, got the cherry picker all put away, and now it's time to start putting these lines on. So this really isn't too hard. Everything kind of lands where it goes. That goes there, that goes there. This fuel line comes up and over and sits right there. And this coolant line drops down here. But it's gonna take a few minutes to get all this done, and I gotta route these wires all the way back to the transmission. Of course, this is vehicle speed sensor, and those ones, you gotta kind of stuff them back down through there. And once everything's in place, I can put the main harness in. So I'm going to get to work putting these hoses and wires where they go. And just like that, the engine is wired and everything is hooked up, except for obviously the front, the core support and all that good stuff. Accessories are still going on, but all of the main stuff is done. Harnesses into the car, all this stuff's hooked up. So really not much left here. Got to tighten out a few bolts, and you put the tins in the fuel line there. And I think we're very, very close to getting this thing going. So I plan on driving it tomorrow, even though I planned on driving it tonight. I figure I'd rather just hang out and spend a few hours knocking all this out. Not to mention the core support and getting that aftermarket radiator in and all that fun stuff. So Driftos soon. A commenter let me know that there's one more drift event. I think it's probably the last one of the season in Kansas this weekend. So I'd like to actually get out there and try to slide this thing around a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it acts after it's back on the ground and if it makes any power. We don't even know if it works yet. Fully untested. Obviously, I bought this as just a couple piles of parts. So we really just don't know. I sure hope it does though. There's no way I did this for no reason. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com where you can get cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. It's so close. A few more hours. That's all there is to it. I mean, honestly, maybe like one more hour. It's just basically tightening up the bolts, motor mounts and stuff like that, and should be wrapped. You got to get all the grounds on. Grounds are critical, so obviously those are just kind of like hanging out right here, but power steering pump's got to go on there too. Very, very, very soon. Tomorrow.